JC Tonic is a natural drink filled with 18 herbs that will change your life. They work together to restore your energy, detoxify your bloodstream, and purifies your entire system.
Jurak Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways. But it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Jurak Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.
Greetings and Happy New Year from the Tonic Man and all of Team Jurak, all your superstars. And today we have a wonderful call with an ex-detective from New Jersey, now living in Florida, who just happens to be the brother-in-law of one of your great supporters here on Team Jurak, Yvette. Many of you have spoken to her, many of you probably not yet, but when you get to speaking with her, you will understand why her brother-in-law, Victor, decided to try the JC Tonic, the youth solution. And he took it for, imagine, a spider bite. I'm not going to let the secret out of the bag. I'm going to let him tell the whole story. Here he is. Victor, come on down and tell everybody what's going on.
Yes. Well, basically, just to give you a little background on myself, I'm a retired police officer. I moved down to Florida about 4.5 years ago, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I became a police officer again.
Oh.
And so I went to the nurse at the school who used to be an ER nurse. She's a phenomenal nurse, and I had researched it online, and also she told me that's definitely a spider bite. So after putting different ointments on it and try to make sure I didn't scratch it or touch it. It just kept on getting bigger. And then eventually Yvette came over and saw that I had that. And she told me, why don't you put some JC Tonic on it? Not only drink the product, but pour it on a piece of cloth and put it on there, but leave it on there for a little while and then just rub it on there softly. So I did that for a couple of days only. And within 24 hours, it started going away. And then within 48 to 72 hours, and I'll be honest with you, again, I was very skeptical. I'm like, what is this really going to do for a spider bite? I mean, I'm telling you, I was totally skeptical. And again, nothing against Yvette or your product. It's just like, what is this going to do for the spider bite? And I'd say within 48 to 72 hours, it was gone.
Oh, so that's why we've had the FBI and the CIA knocking down our door.
Yeah, it was just like I honestly, I actually couldn't believe it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And Yvette got to take a picture of it, when it was red and when I had it, and it wasn't even at its biggest when she first came over the house one day. And then we took a picture of it when it was gone. And it was just like a pimple, like a little scab, like a pimple.
You were drinking it and putting
Yeah.
it on.
Yeah, I was drinking it every day. I was taking one in the morning and one in the evening. Pretty much as long as, I remember, like, I try to be regimented with it, but that's why I also told Yvette recently, because we always have a bottle at home, but I told Yvette I got to get a bottle, 'cause especially after this. I'm definitely a believer. So I told her I actually got to get another bottle because I want to have one at work, because I have my own office with a fridge and all that. So I definitely want to have one in my office in case I do forget to take it at home in the morning. I could remember to take it at work. And especially now with the polycystic, after that experience, I've been taking it on a regular to see if it helps me with that.
So Victor, that's first of all an incredible story. And yes, indeed, it's been known to help from the outside as well as the inside. How amazing this formula is that my father figured out that it can be used inside and outside. But it is true, because many people have reported different kind of skin problems that have cleared up using it. So wow, but to have it happen in such a short time, that is really quite a story.
Yeah, yeah. Believe me, I couldn't believe it myself. I was like, because I had a friend quite a few years ago. We went to a bed and breakfast, quite a few couples together. He ended up getting a spider bite towards the end of the trip, and he thought nothing of it, just like I did in the beginning. And, my wife actually brought that up when she saw it getting bigger. She's like, you really need to have that checked out because remember what happened to Rich. Our friend Rich ended up having to go to the hospital and go through all that. And I don't know exactly what he did, but I know he had to take medication and it had gotten pretty bad from just a regular old spider bite. And then so right away when I put that JC Tonic, and like I said, I actually still now I'm like I can't believe that within 24 to 48 hours and by 72 hours it was completely gone.
Well, this is a remarkable story. I take it that was not, what's that spider that when it bites you, you die?
Yeah, God forbid. Yeah.
But maybe it works even for those kind of spider bites. But you know the principle. It works through the chemistry of the blood and cleaning up the blood. So if the blood can get a boost in its immune system, it goes to work much faster on things like that. And so it's indeed to be believed. But you're right. You're skeptic. Not only because you were a detective before you retired,
Yes, yes, I was
so
a detective for a long time.
so you saw everything and you couldn't believe anything, and rightfully so, probably. But yes, indeed, as they say, the proof is in the pudding,
Yeah,
and
without a doubt.
it worked for you. That is a wonderful story. Wow. Victor, Yvette told me you're 54 years old.
Yes.
Doesn't matter who we are, what we use, what we do, how much we work out, how we look after our diet. Our body breaks down every day. It gets older, and the key is to try and get it to get older slower, not let it get old as fast as it is. Particularly in America, bodies are breaking down because of crummy food and a lot of other things that we should not be doing. But if you were to use this on a regular basis, I don't know if you've seen any of the videos. I mean, we have people who are drinking this 20, 30, and 40 years. They look 20 years younger. I mean, every one of them. And they have the demeanor and the looks and the feelings of a person that's 20 years younger. And so that means it is indeed, we call it a youth solution. It'll retard the aging. And that's, if you can do that, of course, what a great way to go through life.
Yeah.
So you could probably do yourself a favor just from that perspective. But you told me you have a kidney issue as well. What exactly is that? What does it do, or what's it? Explain what your kidney
Well,
problem.
basically, what happens is I have a whole bunch of cysts on my kidneys, on not as many on the left side, but on the right side, it's gone from let's say the average kidney the size of uh let's say a small mango, shape like smaller than the average mango. Now mine is like almost twice the size
Well, a
because of
mango,
all
I
the
mean,
cysts.
even a small mango, that's big.
Yeah, well, I'd say probably in between a baseball and a softball.
Holy
Your
cow.
kidney is, but mine is like the size of a softball right now, or a little bit bigger than that.
You're
Because
talking
of all
about
the
the whole kidney,
yeah,
or the cyst?
no, the cyst on the kidney makes it that much bigger.
Holy cow.
So it kind of, interferes. It can interfere depending on how big it gets with other organs. And then also just having polycystic, it prevents you from eating certain types of food. Like I can't have too much potassium. Like I could have potassium, but in very little moderation. I shouldn't be drinking soda, stuff like that. Like I have to be careful with certain things that I eat. Obviously not too much sugar, not too much greasy food, spicy foods, and stuff like that. I just have to be careful with my diet.
Is that getting
And
worse? Is it getting bigger, or do you have it checked
well,
periodically? What's the
yeah,
how's
yeah, I
it?
have it checked. I have it checked every 4 months, 3 times a year.
And
I go to my nephrologist, and the last time I went, the numbers were actually better than the time before that.
when was the
So,
last time you went?
I'd say, I want to say July, and
So
no, August,
were
August.
you drinking the JC Tonic at that point?
No, not at that point. I had tried it here and there, but I wasn't drinking tonic at that point because I didn't really know too much about it. I know Yvette was working there and stuff like that. She had talked to us about it, and I tried it, a couple of times. But now, ever since the spider bite, I've been drinking because my next checkup was supposed to be in December, but I had to postpone it for January because I have to, I'm going to be out of the state between that and work. I'm not going to be able to go to after January.
Well,
So
you are going to know exactly if it's working or not when you go for your next checkup, because
yeah,
the difference in the last one and this one, and if you're drinking this tonic steadily now, you will see a difference. Even your doctor's going to wonder what's going on.
yeah, because basically with polycystic, whatever damage is being done to your kidney, you can't reverse it. There's no reversal on it. But like you said before, you can slow down the process, depending on your diet, how you do on your diet, and whatever else you can do to help it. And that's what I'm looking to do. Because right now my kidneys are working at 80, 85%.
Well,
You know what I mean? Not
Victor,
100%.
I certainly never want to criticize doctors. They do the best they can with what they have, and they've done a lot of miracles, and they've failed many, many times. So when somebody says this is not reversible, that's just like saying your spider bite, you're going to end up to be Spider-Man because it's in you and you can't get it out.
Yeah.
The body is a magical piece of equipment, and it's like your car. If you tune it up and keep it the way it's supposed to be, it'll serve you for a lifetime. If you don't, it'll be chugging along in 5 or 10 years. It's the same with the body, and the body is capable of reversing anything if it's given what it needs. I don't know what it needs. I don't even know what a body does every second. I don't know, a million things, 500,000 things. Who knows what it's doing? But it sure is doing an awful lot of things. And if there's some few little parts that are not really at peak performance, it can affect the operation of the whole body. And that's when you
Yeah.
mentioned this organ, it affects and is affected by others. Yeah, the kidney is part of that whole digestive system. They're all interdependent. With one of them that breaks down, it's going to affect the others. That is for sure. If you can start to have your body regenerate itself in its entirety, everything, which is what the tonic does, it works as a whole body, you can have some really nice surprises about your main health issue because everything else is starting to work in better shape and it's helping that one get back into better shape. And yes, the doctors do not have a cure for that particular condition. They don't know what to do. Well, what they have will never do it because you have to get at the source. Why is it happening? I don't know why it's happening, but there's something wrong in the body. It's like a skin problem. People that try and treat the skin problem from outside, good luck. It happens from the inside. There's something wrong on the inside of the body that creates all those toxins to come out on top of the skin and create some kind of a skin problem, but they have no cure for anything. They just try and burn it off or force it back. But until somebody looks at the inside of the body and corrects whatever is wrong there, those skin problems will never go away forever. But that's the way they practice medicine in this country, unfortunately. So we don't practice medicine, and this is not a cure for anything. As a matter of fact, I make sure to tell people this is nothing to do with the kidney. This has got to do with the blood and your body in general, which once it's humming along again, it's going to fix the kidney and the liver and the pancreas and everything else. So you may be in for some nice surprises if you stick with it. And
Yeah,
if you drink,
from your mouth to God's ears.
well, that's it.
Yeah,
But as you said, you've been a skeptic all your life. In some ways, thank the good Lord for the spider bite, because now you're partly a believer. And if you see some changes for the better in the kidney, you know you're on the right track. These things don't change overnight. It took 20 years for a person to get some illness. It's not going to take 2 days to reverse it.
yeah,
It'll,
without a doubt.
if people are patient, and we have a lot of patient people that have been drinking it for a long time, because they saw it started to work and they hung in there, and little by little the body regenerates itself. So it can do that for you, and along the way, everything else in your body is going to start to look and feel better. If you're a little overweight, you'll start losing weight. Not because this is a weight loss. This works to balance the metabolism. And when that happens, look, I'm 88 years old. Maybe I've gained 5 pounds in 50 years, And I can tell you, I can eat most people under the table, but I eat good food. Sure, I eat junk food once in a while, but when your body's in good shape, it can handle some junk once in a while, but not 3 times a day. And cops, of course, are notorious for eating on the job, racing
Yeah,
around and
without a doubt.
eating fast food, and after 20 years on the job, it shows because of the way they eat. So yeah, if you stick with it, you're going to have nothing but better results as you get older and older. And it's something that people end up doing as a way of life. It's part of the grocery bill. It's like just the same, do it every day. Like you have your coffee every morning, have this every day as well. And you'll be surprised what a cheap health insurance it really is, because you're not going to get sick or as sick or as often as everybody else around you.
Yeah, that's why I told Yvette too. Like I said before, I was like, I definitely want to have a bottle in my office because I have a regimen every morning, things that I do when I get there and stuff like that. Because in case I rush out in the morning, yeah, because usually my day consists of waking up at 4:35. I go to the gym in the morning right by my house. I go back home, take a shower, get ready, and I'm out the door because I have about an hour travel time to get to my job. And I was like, when I get there, if I do rush out or I forget, I get distracted, at least I'll remember because there's been quite a few times where I've left and I was like, damn it, I forgot to take a shot of the JC Tonic this morning. And then at least if I have a bottle at work, I can always go to that one and take it because, like I told my wife, I want to make sure that I take it every morning and every night.
Well, if you do that, you're going to have nothing but good results, and that's a good idea. I mean, I don't know if my whole life I've had one in the car, one on my desk, one on my work table. I make sure there's
Yeah.
a bottle everywhere to make sure that I drink enough. But look, I'm at my age. There's a video that I made recently. I'll ask Yvette to send it to you, and
Okay.
and you'll see my mugshot. I mean, I'm 88 years old, but here I am still doing what
God
I'm doing.
bless.
I log in 15 hours a day at least on the phone talking to people, and this is what I do. I talk about the tonic and see if it can help some people. And sure enough, we've saved a lot of lives over the years, and gives you a good feeling. So if you have other old pals, law enforcement, they're all in the same boat. They're all doing the same thing. They're all eating the junk food thing. They're all under tremendous stress. This thing would be the best thing for all of them. Share it with them and just tell them, get themselves each a bottle, and they'll know right away after one bottle.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Another thing I want to do is I want to see exactly how it affects me, especially when I have my next test done towards the end of January. And depending on the results, I want to start getting my mother to start taking it. Because, like I said before, my mother's the let the people cross.
How old is she now?
She's 74.
74. Yeah, so you could be my grandson.
Yeah. Yeah, my father, God bless him, my father's 86.
Oh, good for you. Good for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, yeah, and he's, still doing good. God bless him. And one of the only thing I've noticed with him, I mean, he has diabetes because it runs in his side of the family. My father's one of 16 siblings, and at least 10 of them have had diabetes in their life, during their lifetime. So you're kind of predisposed to it, but he doesn't take an injection; he takes pills.
Is
But
that
overall,
diabetes number one or the sugar diabetes?
the sugar one. The sugar one.
Well,
But, like I said,
Victor, we
yeah,
have so many success stories on that particular thing. Send them to him. I mean, if he listens to them, you just never know. I mean, I actually have seen with my own eyes people who had neuropathy and they started the tingling in the toes. And then at one point, the toes start to turn a different color. And then they're facing amputation. And when they drink the tonic, the toes get back to the normal color. I mean, this will happen all day long.
yeah,
As a matter of fact, if you have somebody with high sugar in their blood, if they measure their sugar and take 1 ounce and measure the sugar an hour later, the sugar will already have gone down. It's not going to stay down, but it'll show you how fast this gets into the blood and starts some chemical changes. Those people, my good Lord, what a relief it would be for them to, because those medications, they're going to be on for 30, 40 years. And if they take them, it can force the sugar out. But if they stop the medication, the sugar shoots right up because, again, the underlying cause is not addressed. No one looks at that.
yes, yes,
Wow. Yeah, you could spread the word and absolutely help a lot of people, Victor.
without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I like that. Without a doubt. Yeah. Well, I appreciate this because that's a great story, the spider bite. And let's make another great story on the kidney. And if you have a growth on the kidney that size, they will see if it shrinks. If it shrinks even one little bit, you know that you're on the right path. There was a lady I met many years ago. She was always holding her side. I said, "What are you holding the side? What's up?" She said, "I don't know. I've got something." And I said, "What?" She said, "Well, there's a big bump here." And she pulled up her blouse a bit, and there was like a lump on the side of her stomach. I said, "You got to get to a gynecologist and get that checked out." She says, "I'm afraid." I said, "Well, you better be afraid and go than be dead with something. I don't know what it is, but." So she went to the gynecologist, said it's a tumor in there. It's so big she can't operate to take it out. So she gave her a prescription of some kind of drug that the doctor thought it would shrink it. So I said, "Look, if you're going to take this drug, try the tonic first. You have plenty of time to take the drug if the tonic doesn't work. Who knows?" Long story short, in 6 months, she went back to the gynecologist. The thing had shrunk to the size of a pea.
Look at that.
And the doctor said, what did you do?" Of course, you tell the doctor that you do this, they look at you like if you're crazy. They don't believe it. And if it really could work, they dissuade you from using it because they think their drugs are better. That's too bad, but that's the way it is, But you just never know. And in
Yeah,
this
me, I,
case, you know,
I try to avoid taking medications if I don't have to.
well, that's it. Everybody does. But in the end, 90% of everybody in this country is on some kind of medication. And that is really a sad thing. I'm glad there's a government now that's looking into trying to change the health of Americans. It's about time.
Yeah, that's the world we live in today.
Yeah. Well, Victor, I do appreciate this. I thank you very much. We're going to publish your story on the spider web. This is my direct number. Give me a call if you have any questions. If you have people that you need help with, but Yvette is really great at what she does. But I'm here and I still take calls all day long. So don't hesitate if someone wants to chat.
No, without a doubt, Anthony, and it was a pleasure speaking to you, and thank you very much.
Me too.
And again, I appreciate your product
Well,
very
good.
much so.
Spread the word. That's all we need you to do. Where are you in Florida?
I'm in Westlake out by Loxahatchee. I drive from Westlake to Lake Worth.
So that's a school that's there?
Yeah, I'm at the Lake Worth Middle School.
Are you the kind of law enforcement that they're now posting at schools?
Yes,
Uh,
yes, I'm with the Palm Beach County School Police Department.
so that's since all these shootings, they started putting police at the schools.
Yeah, it's and believe me, I appreciate the job and the pay, because it supplements my pension. Because I was a supervisor up in New Jersey. I did 25 years up there. Now I've been with the school police 3 years, so I'm going on
Well,
28 years
you must,
plus.
as a detective, you must have a pretty good pension from New Jersey.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah,
Yeah.
and being that I retired with rank, I have a pretty good pension and benefits from up there.
Oh,
But
super.
this
Yeah.
helps me supplement my income. But like I always say, I appreciate the job, but it's a shame that I actually have to be in the schools. You
Isn't
know what I
that
mean?
isn't that
Yeah,
isn't that the truth? Yeah.
yeah, without a doubt, it's actually sad.
But on the other hand, it's good that you're going to be there, and just maybe because you're there, it will prevent something from bad from happening at that school.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and us in here at Palm Beach County School Police, there's 8 school police departments in the state of Florida that are active right now. Eventually, they wanna get it to the point where every county has one, but out of all the counties in Florida, we're probably the best county school police in the state of Florida. We get the best training, we just get the best of everything, and it's actually a very good agency to work for, and I love my job. I really do, and I like working with the kids, so it makes it that much better.
Well, that's fantastic. Also, at 54, yeah, you're retired from the other job because they retire people after 20 or 25 years. But at 54, you're still a young man. You know.
Yeah. Well, I retired at 48 and a half, so I definitely knew that I was gonna be doing something after retirement.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what, because I started young. I did 25 years of service up
Yeah,
there,
that's
and,
fantastic.
but I'm very lucky and I'm blessed that I'm still young enough where I could work.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can't get the kidney to work as well.
Without a doubt, Anthony, and listen, thank you very much for your product. Pleasure speaking.
Thank you to you too, Victor. Thanks a lot. Well, folks, there is another mighty podcast Tonic Man call, and this is starting the year 2026 off with a bang. I just remembered as I'm listening to Victor's relating his story about the spider bite. When I was in the jungle in South America in 1962, I was diving for diamonds and gold, and before going into the jungle, we asked what happens if we get a snake bite. And somebody said there is a product that is available. You should take a couple of small bottles with you. I think they were like about, I don't know, a 2-ounce bottle, maybe a 3-ounce bottle. And I picked up a couple of them, and it was all in Portuguese, the label, so I didn't understand what it was, and I asked somebody to interpret for me, and they said that when you get a snake bite, what you're supposed to do is take a knife and sort of cut a bit so that it starts bleeding, and you can suck out the blood and conceivably the poison or a lot of it before it gets too far in your bloodstream. And then what you do is you pour half of this bottle on the wound and bandage it, and you drink the other half of the bottle. And I said, these people are out of their minds. Well, here my father was working on this formula many, many years before that. And it was the same thing. He developed it so that it could be used on the inside and the outside of the body. I never knew that growing up. I always thought it was only for internal use. And it was really when we discovered that he had used the tonic itself in the marvelous skin rejuvenator Helena. All the herbs are in there. Well, if you go to the internet and look up every herb, you will see that it is equally magnificent for the skin, just as it is magnificent for inside the body. I just about flipped when I realized that my father had developed this in such a way. No wonder it cannot be duplicated. No wonder people have tried over the years to copy it and fell on their face because it doesn't work. You folks listening to this podcast are the luckiest folks in the world, being able to drink this elixir of life, and especially for so little money. You know, people have said, oh, it's too expensive. Expensive? I spoke to somebody the other day and said, nothing is expensive when it comes to your health and staying well. And those of you who have spent a fortune on medical care know this all too well. Please, please do yourself a favor and keep drinking. And please, please pay it forward. There are so many souls out there who are withering in all kinds of health issues and are looking at a very bleak life. Give them hope. Make 2026 good for them. Pay it forward. Okay, that's all for my preaching. Have a really, really great rest of your day. And as we like to say around here, take an ounce and feel the bounce. Bye for now.